What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Beat of Business with me, Ravi Wadan. And today we're going to review the BLOK ETF, which trades under ticker symbol BLOK. Now, before we jump into a detailed analysis of the fund, I want to give you guys a high-level overview of what the BLOK ETF is. The ETF's full name is the Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF, and it's an ETF that is specifically designed and created for retail investors like you and I to invest in companies that are involved in blockchain technology. More specifically, it's an actively managed ETF that seeks to provide total return by investing at least 80% of its net assets in the equity securities of companies actively involved in the development and utilization of blockchain technologies. And the BLOK ETF, ticker symbol BLOK, is an ETF that is issued by a company called Amplify. And Amplify has a whole host of ETFs. They have their core ETFs, and then they have thematic ETFs like BATT that allow you to invest in lithium and battery technology. They have BIDS that allows you to invest in digital and online trading. And then you have BLOK, which we are going to review in this video. And then they also have a whole suite of other ETFs that all allow you to invest in various themes. I'm assuming that most of you watching this video know at a high level what the blockchain is, but if you don't, let me give you a high-level overview. The blockchain is a peer-to-peer shared distributed ledger that facilitates the process of recording transactions and tracking assets in a business network. And all of this transaction data is stored in blocks that are linked together to form a chain. And as the number of transactions grow, so does the blockchain. And each one of these blocks records and confirms the time and sequence of all transactions, which are then logged into the blockchain. Now, the blockchain really has a ton of benefits for just about every type of business and every sector in the world, whether it's healthcare, financial services, or governmental agencies. Now, we're not going to dive deep into the benefits of blockchain technology in this video because that would require a lot of time, and that's not why you're watching this video. But you do need to know that blockchain technology is here to stay, and its adoption is growing, and the total addressable market for blockchain technology is massive. However, I do want to share a very cool infographic with you all that I found on 101blockchains.com. Now let me put it up on the screen, and if you want to study it, feel free to pause the video. This infographic does a really great job of providing the key benefits of blockchain technology. Okay, so now you have a high-level overview of this ETF and of blockchain technology, so let's deep dive into this ETF. Let's actually head over to BLOK's homepage so we can study the fund in more detail. Here is the Amplify ETF's homepage for BLOK, the Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF. And if we read the fund details as of January 14th, 2022, you can see that this fund has an inception date of January 17th, 2018. It trades under ticker symbol BLOK. Primary exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. The QSIP intraday NAV, not really applicable to this video. Net assets of this fund, we have $1,073,421,944. Shares outstanding, 28,700,000. The number of holdings in this fund, we have 47 holdings, and we have an expense ratio of 0.71% or 71 bips. And if you guys are looking for a little more context as to what 71 bips or 0.71% means in terms of an expense ratio, if you had $10,000 and you invested it in this fund, your fees over the course of 1 year would be $71. So $10,000 invested equals $71 in annual expenses. And in case you're wondering, the expense ratio of this fund may seem high at 0.71%, but it's right in line with other ETF products that are like this that invest in themes or emerging technologies. And you have to remember that this fund is actively managed. It's not passively managed like an index fund, so you're not gonna get those crazy 0.03% expense ratios. Now let's take a look at this fund's holdings. And as you can see, the fund holdings as of January 18th, 2022, The top 10 holdings are CME Group at 4.96%. We have SBI Holdings at 4.79%. Then we have Coinbase Global at 4.69%. We have Galaxy Digital Holdings at 4.58%. We have Silvergate Cap Corp at 4.35%. We have Nvidia at 4.29%. MicroStrategy at 3.77%. PayPal Holdings at 3.6%. Hive Blockchain Technologies at 3.47%, and GMO Internet at 3.34%. And if you want to look at the complete holdings list, here it is. You will get the percent market value as well as the actual market value. So if we take a look at a company like Coinbase, it's the third largest holding in this fund. It makes up 4.69% of this fund, for a market value of $50,556,453. And aside from the top 10 holdings, which we already covered, there are some other notable technology names on this list. And other recognizable companies that this fund holds are Riot Blockchain. We have the largest foundry in the world in Taiwan Semi. We have AMD, Twitter, Visa, MasterCard, Robinhood, and Oracle. And as you can tell when you view this list, some of these companies are pure play blockchain names, and others are companies that are investing heavily in blockchain technology. So you get a nice, well-diversified mix of companies that are all invested in blockchain technology. Now, as far as the industry allocation of this fund, as of December 31st, 2021, 27.9% of this fund is allocated to software. We have 22% to capital markets. We have 19.5% to IT services, 7.8% to semiconductors and equipment, 7.2% to banks, 6.2% not classified, so I don't really know what companies those are. We have 3.8% to interactive media and services, 2.8% to internet and direct marketing retail. We have 1.6% to consumer finance, and 1.1% to technology, hardware, and storage. And in terms of the regional allocation of this fund, as of December 31st, 2021, 77% of this fund is allocated to companies in North America, 16.6% of this fund is allocated to companies in Asia Pac, and 6.4% of this fund is allocated to companies in Western Europe. So now we've covered the holdings in the fund and we've covered the various ways this fund is allocated. Now let's talk about its performance. Now clearly this fund invests in companies that are involved in the utilization and the development of blockchain technology. And since this is such a niche and emerging industry, it's really hard to benchmark the performance of this ETF to an index. And since there really isn't a dedicated index to benchmark the performance of this fund, I decided to benchmark it against the S&P 500. And when we compare the one-year performance of this ETF versus the S&P 500, you'll see just how volatile this fund is. Now, this chart showcases the one-year performance of the BLOK ETF versus the S&P 500. Now, the BLOK ETF is the blue line, and the yellow line represents the S&P 500. And as you can see, in early 2021, BLOK was destroying the S&P 500 in terms of performance. Then it had a period where its performance was in line with the S&P 500, roughly. And then it drastically outperformed the S&P 500 towards the end of 2021. But more recently, BLOK has taken a dive. And over the past year, BLOK has a return of negative 5.87%, and the S&P 500 has a positive return of 22.74%. So I would definitely say that if you're looking for an investment that isn't volatile and doesn't stress you out every time you check your portfolio or check the performance of your portfolio, then this ETF may not be for you. In summary, the purpose of this video isn't really to tell you whether or not to invest in this ETF, but rather showcase a product that is actively managed and a great way to invest in the emerging blockchain technology space. Another thing that I really want to reiterate and really get into your guys' head is that blockchain technology has more use cases than just cryptocurrency. It has the potential to impact, every industry in the world, from healthcare, financial services, to real estate. Every industry could leverage blockchain technology. It's also important to note that this fund isn't the only blockchain ETF out there. There are other offerings from other ETF providers. So if you want to see a video on this fund's competitors, please let me know in the comment section below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to do your own research and do your own due diligence. This video is intended to be a part of that research and due diligence. Well, with that, I hope you all found this video helpful. And if you did, please remember to like this video and please remember to subscribe to my channel because I have a ton of videos that cover content like this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna call it a video. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time.